Hey everybody, it's Mike. I am back and I'm ready to do some more Hare Krishna stuff. Let's see, what do we got going already? We got all kinds of comments. Everybody's here. I'm so glad to see everybody here. We got Dan. Hey everybody. Hello. And Liam. How you doing, Liam? Glad to see you here. We got Dahlia Roberts. All right. And ready to join the live. Awesome. Oh, we got some new people. We got some new people. Uh, Jeff, hey, how you doing? We got Howard Johnson. Man, it's good to see you. And Trey, I'm glad you guys stuck it out. I've been working on the studio, so I know it was a good day. Great to see everybody. Yes, it's absolutely great to see everybody here, man. And Hayden Erickson. Hey there, Hayden. How you doing? Good to see everybody here. Hey, listen, man. I'm so excited. I got a brand new opening. So let's get right to the opening, and then we're gonna get right into all this stuff that I want to talk about. Let's get going. Where is it? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. Hey, so thanks for sticking that out. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. If you could just hit that like button, man, that'd be great. And then the share and subscribe button as well. So listen, I want to get into this Hare Krishna stuff. First thing I want to do though is, of course, knitting cult lady. She's got some great things to say, and I want to share them with you. And here is our first little video.
Them to be so consistent. And this finally helped me last night think about the way to explain it. And it's because it's brain science, right? And if you want to hurt someone, this is such a great question. Can I talk about why all cults are the same? I definitely see the patterns, but I'm curious about the underlying stuff that causes them to be so consistent. And this finally helped me last night think about the way to explain it. And it's because it's brain science, right? And if you want to hurt somebody with brain science, you gotta go study the brain science that helps you manipulate people. Just like if you want to help somebody with brain science, you have to go study the people that know about brain science, right? So it's just like any discipline. Nobody's making it up. Nobody is making up cults and coercion and manipulation. It's hard to manipulate people. Human beings like to be free, and it's really, really hard to build an organization, manipulate people into it, brainwash them, and then keep them bought into it for years and years and years so that they can take your labor. There's only very specific ways to do that. And so they all have to study each other. And what's interesting about cult leaders is they all study each other, right? They all learn from each other. They all do the same things, but they each are narcissistic enough to believe that they're going to be the one to get it right. Meanwhile, I study them with my little autistic brain, and I just see all the patterns and all the way that they're going to be exactly the same as all of the other ones. But it just comes down to this. Like, my husband's a plant scientist, right? And he's studying GMOs and tomatoes. And he's got to go study all the history of tomatoes and all the people that have manipulated tomatoes. He can't just make it up in his brain. When they say there's nothing new under the sun, lies to cults. There's a way to manipulate people, and they all learn it from each other. I'm Daniela, scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. And while the details might be different, we can always track the patterns. I wrote this book, Uncultured, about growing up in the Children of God religious cult before going into the cult of the U.S. Army. You can get signed copies from me here or listen to me read it to you on Spotify Premium or anywhere else you get your audiobooks. I think it really helps to understand what's going on in our country right now, and you can see those similarities and those patterns that I am talking about. Also, Culting of America is on pre-sale, and if you are not on TikTok.
Okay, I got one more, and then I'm going to talk about what she has to say.
So this leader thing in a cult is something that upsets me, that more experts haven't talked about the fact that a cult can be led by an idea. And that is not new. That is something Robert Lifton said. So we have been knowing about this for the entire history of cult studies. When a leader builds a group, sometimes it can be a cult about an idea from the beginning. I believe that's what Scientology was. But sometimes it is a cult of personality, which I believe is what Christian Science was. And then the leader passes on. And then things keep going. And what is called charisma by proxy, if it's passed down to another leader, or sometimes it's passed down to a quorum of leadership. Once a cult is built and that leadership is in place, it can easily keep going without a single leader at the top. And we need to talk about that more, because a loophole for getting out of a cult definition.
So yeah, ISKCON is definitely a cult of personality. Prabhupada, he created this organization to continue after his departure with this charisma by proxy. The charisma by proxy is that there's this pure devotee, and you must surrender to this pure devotee and get knowledge from him and serve him. And so he created this movement of so-called pure devotees, so that eventually the whole world will be serving his pure devotees, these leaders by proxy, or cult of personality by proxy. They're all just extensions of Prabhupada's cult of personality. All these gurus that are being worshipped in the same way that Prabhupada was worshipped, as if they're an extension of Prabhupada, and that's what they think. They think, well, my guru was initiated by Prabhupada, so they're Prabhupada by proxy. She's absolutely right. She's explaining it, and not only that, but it's also this mission that there's this 10,000 year golden age of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Then the whole world has to be inundated with these books and this varnashram, which includes this child marriage I'm about to get into, child marriage, and just basically all the bullshit that they have. So there's that. Got her out of the way. And let's see, we got Glenn. Hey, Glenn, glad to see that you're here. So that's Knitting Cult Lady. And then one more, though. I think I got one more from Knitting Cult Lady. Let's see. Because this is something that I didn't realize, because I'm not in the cult, and I don't keep up on the cult like in that way. I'm not like totally focused on them and takes up all my time. I do think about what I'm going to present when I'm on my channel. I do think about that, but I'm not like just like an investigative reporter investigating ISKCON. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. So I don't keep up to date on all their bullshit. But let's see. This is hey, how you doing, man? Great to see you here. So let's see. Let me see where. So here is this is what I wanted to do. This is Knitting Cult Lady, and she's got a great video here. I wanted to show. Let's see. Let me see if I get this going here. Oh, maybe.
Okay, bro. Yeah. The giant parade that Frumpy is trying to throw himself. The draft dodger, Felon 47. The giant military parade that he's trying to throw himself on his birthday. You're right. It's not about him. It's about the birthday of the U.S. Army. You're right. No cult leader has ever done anything like this before. No cult leader has ever conflated his own birthday with something else important in the world so that he could then convince people to celebrate it and march in a military parade and worship him. That's never happened in the history of cults or totalitarian leaders. You're right. Keep carrying his water for him. I'm Daniela, scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I wrote a book about growing up in the Children of God cult where we celebrated our cult leaders.
So today is the cult leader Prabhupada's birthday.
40 रुपए था, लेकिन वो 40 रुपए भी कोलकाता के वहाँ पर दे के गए ऐसा, और उनके पास कुछ भी पैसा नहीं था, तो लेकिन उनके पास
having a big celebration.
200
This is
सेट
in
श्रीमद भागवतम प्रभुपाद जी लेके गए.
Pune,
तो
India,
प्रभुपाद जी को पूरा विश्वास था
and
हरिनाम
they,
के
you
ऊपर,
can see they're
श्रीमद भागवतम
worshiping
के
the
ऊपर,
statue
और
of
ऐसे जगह में भी श्रील
the cult
प्रभुपाद
leader
जी ने
Prabhupada.
200 सेट श्रीमद भागवतम लेके गए.
Hey,
तो उस
Rafael,
श्रीमद भागवतम के द्वारा प्रभुपाद जी ने
Hey,
सारी दुनिया का उद्धार
happy
किया है.
Vyasa
और
Puja.
ये श्रीमद भागवतम
Happy Vyasa Puja
हमें भी
Day.
वितरण करना है.
It's
तो
interesting
प्रभुपाद
that
जी से
cult
ये
lady
प्रार्थना
said
करता हूँ
that.
कि हमें पूरा विश्वास और
It's interesting that the cult lady said that no cult leader has ever conflated an important day with their own birthday, which obviously Srila Prabhupada has, with combining John Mastami, which was yesterday, I guess, with his birthday today. And in the Hare Krishnas, it's one big 2-day celebration with fasting and celebrating, and then feasting, and then or it's fasting all day, and then midnight feast for Krishna, I think, and a midnight feast for Krishna, and then fasting the next day for Prabhupada all day. I don't know. It's a crazy. I forget what it is, but it's a crazy. It's a crazy extravaganza that they do. As you can see, now they're bathing the statue of this cult leader, this pedophile who had sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22, said that all these horrible things about all these horrible people and things that he, in his mind, Jews and blacks and homosexuals and women and children and everything else. I mean, if it was living and walking, then he criticized it because it wasn't him. What else can you say? So these people are obviously celebrating the birthday of the cult leader after celebrating Krishna's birthday yesterday. So he definitely has his cult followers convinced that Krishna's birthday celebration and Prabhupada's birthday celebration is all one big celebration. It's just one big, and any of you that have been in the Hare Krishnas, most of you in here, know what I'm talking about. You know that what it's two days, but it's one big giant friggin' feasting and fasting and chanting, and it's all one big thing. So there's that. So today is Prabhupada's birthday, where they're celebrating this horrible person. This is what they do. This is what they do. So even Knitting Cult Lady knows if you're celebrating the birthday of the cult leader, or the founder of the birthday, you're in a cult. You're in a cult. I mean, I don't think they don't I don't know if they celebrate the Pope's birthday, but it's, even if they do, it's just like in just a, hey, happy birthday, Pope. It's not a big. I don't think it is. I'm not in. I don't live in the Vatican, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But I don't know that. I don't remember ever hearing, hey, it's the Pope's birthday. Today's a big. It's not a big day. A celebration. It's not like Easter or Christmas or something like that, where you go, hey, it's the Pope's birthday. We got to go to church and say a thing and do a rosary or whatever. I don't know that goes on. So I don't know about this celebrating these birthdays. And now all these gurus, of course, they do the same thing. All these gurus, they celebrate their birthdays too. They celebrate their birthdays the same way. And all the gurus come around and they congratulate each other on being a guru. Congratulate each other on being a guru. And they wash each other's feet and they offer them food and they have a big party celebrating each other's birthdays. These guys that's just so weird. It's so weird with the birthday celebration. So the other thing, the main thing I want to talk about is, so like I was saying, I don't keep up on these Hare Krishnas. I don't know what's happening, the daily thing. I get some news from the Wacko page where he talks about all the bullshit. He doesn't really talk about just Hare Krishna stuff. It's not real. I mean, news. He doesn't really talk about like news. He talks about like lawsuits and abuse and the poison and all that bullshit. He talks about that. So I don't really know what's going on in the Hare Krishnas. I don't keep up on it. But today I decided to go. Let's see, what do we got? Rocket science, red rupee eyes. Okay, what is Bunny? Bunny says, I was in ISKCON in India and I also found weird why there is fasting for Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Janmashtami is an important festival, but why Prabhupada? I mean, well, yeah, exactly. And cult knitting cult lady hit it on the head. She hit it right on the head when she said, these cult leaders will conflate an important day and have you celebrate their birthday right along with, Flag Day or a U.S. Army's birthday or Janmashtami or something else. Hare Krishna cult plays sick tricks on your mind. They sell you fantasy stories such as you made offenses, therefore you lost your bhakti. How does their criminal rules of abuse towards other humans be okay? Okay, you bring up an interesting point. Like the other night, I was talking about, I don't remember what I was talking about, but somebody came in, one of these Hare Krishnas came in and was saying, well, you can't learn transcendental knowledge, you can't understand it or learn it if you're not surrendered or whatever they were trying to say. They're trying to say to me, like, I can't understand Ramananda Roy, or I can't understand Rasa Leela, or I can't understand the demon head eating the moon. I can't understand these things because I'm not surrendered to a bona fide guru, or I'm not, surrendered to Krishna. I'm not performing devotional service. Whatever it is that they want to, that's their excuse. But my answer was, I learned all this stuff when I was a Hare Krishna. I understood it when I was a Hare Krishna. I understand the transcendental. What they're saying is transcendental. The Rasa Leela, to see it with a spiritual vision and not a material vision and anoint your eyes with the salve of love of Godhead and all this other bullshit. I learned all that. I had that understanding. I was up here in this noggin of mine already for years. For like 20 years, I had that understanding. And when I left the Hare Krishnas, did that just go away? No, I still understand it. I can explain it right now. I can explain it as well as anybody can. I can't remember the Bhagavad Gita verses. I never really had a lot of shit memorized. But I could explain shit, and I could preach to people on the street, and I could sell books or whatever. I didn't like it, but I could, I know what I'm talking about. And I can still do that today. So just like, what? So how am I, why does that transcendental knowledge leave me because I'm offensive? But when Lokanath touches a little girl, or Indrayumna Swami is touching little girls, or Rameshwar leaves with an underage girl, how come that knowledge doesn't? How come it leaves me, but it doesn't leave them? I mean, what's the difference? How can these gurus have all these fall downs? Trivik Swami, and who's the one in Bangkok I was just reading about? Prabha Vishnu. Prabha Vishnu got caught multiple times in Bangkok with prostitutes, with bar girls or whatever he was doing. Like they knew what he was doing. They were following him, and they caught him. Same thing with Rameshwar. They knew what he was doing. They followed him and found him, caught him too. So how come they're not being offensive, but how come Prabha Vishnu is not being offensive? Lokanath's not being offensive. Indrayumna's not being offensive, but I'm being offensive. How come my bhakti's gone, but Trivik Swami's bhakti's not gone? He was having sex with a girl, one of his disciples. He was hiding it for 6 months. Come on, that's a lot worse than anything I ever did. That's a lot worse than anything I ever did. Kirtanananda, having people shot in a van. I mean, I never did anything even close to that. Okay, I mean, I've never even done. I don't even like stepping on bugs. But and yet, Kirtanananda he's glorified and buried in Vrindavan. But I'm the offender. I'm the one without bhakti. I'm the aparati. Not Lokanath Swami. This cult is insane with their manipulation and their mental, I don't know what you call it. Brainwashing to me is like Clockwork Orange. They tie you up, they hold your eye open, they make you watch. That's brainwashing. But this is a type of brainwashing. It's mostly it's a emotional, mental blackmail, Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I've never seen any other Hindu movement have such elaborate worship of their guru. No life-size murtis, no artiks, no huge festivals, no daily guru puja. Maybe they have a photo with a garland. Yeah, I agree. It's a Gaudiya Vaishnav thing. It's definitely I don't know, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I think that's where it's coming from, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I mean, I don't even know if these 6 Goswamis even existed. I don't even know how the extent of their fanatic cult-ish behavior. I think they were just ordinary Hindus. I think it started with Bhakti Vinod Thakur, turned it into he had this. I mean, I really don't know. I'm speculating, but I have the inclination to go with the idea that Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the actual architect of this whole thing. I mean, you could say Chaitanya is, but I don't know. I don't know if he really is. I think it all originates with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was the, you might say he was the the L. Ron Hubbard. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I agree with you. I agree with you. Like my friend in Vrindavan, he's got his guru. He's got his little thing in his house, and he's got Shiva. He's got a picture of his guru. He's got Shiva. He's got a little Radha and Krishna, a little Shiva, and that's it. That's it. They want you to think you're constantly walking on eggshells so you don't wake up and see the truth for what it is. I think that might be part of the manipulation. I think that's definitely part of the manipulation, is to keep your mind occupied so you're not contemplating what it is that you're really doing. I mean, if you have a lot of time on your own to just think, and you're not reading, you're not chanting, you're not doing anything, you're just thinking, your mind starts to wander about this demon head that's eating the moon, and shit like that. 5,000-year-old Vyasadeva, a guy floating between planets playing a guitar. You start to contemplate that stuff. I don't know. It's definitely a cult of personality. It's all Prabhupada, but no substance. It's all Prabhupada, and then this proximity to charisma, or whatever she said. It's like that's why they all try to act like Prabhupada. They try to walk like Prabhupada. They try to shake their head and use their hands, and everything is a mimicry of Prabhupada. The better they can imitate Prabhupada, and the better they can, tell stories about Prabhupada, or have, if they were there with Prabhupada. I mean, they rolled out the red carpet. Like they did for my friends. These guys were like, Bir Lakshman and Radha Kun were like the two like some of the shadiest guys. I mean, they weren't following any regular principles. None. They weren't following any regular principles. Like maybe one. They weren't eating meat. Other than that, they but they show up in Vrindavan, and these guys go nuts. These guys went nuts for Radha Kun and Bir Lakshman. Oh, you're Prabhupada disciples. Come with us. They gave us, and I got to go along with them. I got to go along with them because I told them, I wasn't pretending. I told them, I said, I'm not a Prabhupada disciple, and they're like, no, you come to. But we got a whole like tour of the temple. We got a tour of Prabhupada's house. We didn't need the tour, but they were being really nice, treating us like we were royalty. And then they took us out, and they gave us prasadam. Out behind Krishna Balaram. Now they built something there now, but it used to be this empty place behind the temple where they where they'd have prasadam, and they took us out there. They scrounged up some really nice prasadam for us. We had prasadam. We're sitting there, and that stuff goes to Radha Kun's head. Radha Kun starts thinking that he deserves that kind of treatment. Like he deserves to be sitting on this chair and having them fan him with peacock feathers, and he loved that shit. He loved it, and he'd sit there and he'd tell his stories. Radha Kunda had some charisma, where he had some personality, so he could tell a story. He was kind of funny, he was kind of outgoing a little bit, so he'd been around the movement for 20 years or something, so he knew his way around. So they start treating him like this. Went to his head. He decided he was going to stay in India, and he was going to be a sadhu now. And I'm like, dude, you've been wilding out for as long as I've known you, and I've known you for like 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years, you've just been wilding out, and now and you used to be a devotee, and I don't even know how long you've been wilding out for. You've been wilding out for longer than I've been knowing you, and now all of a sudden it's cosplay. It's cosplay. People in Severn can literally do anything and they don't care. It's crazy. Yeah, well, yeah, if you're a guru or you're a sannyasi and you're bringing in money and donations, evidently you can get away with everything you want. But if your daughter is 11 and she gets molested at the LA temple and you go to the police because that's the right thing to do, now you're the bad guy. Now you're a demon and you're bad. You can't even do that. But these guys, like you said, these guys can do it. These guys can do whatever they want. Literally, do whatever they want. Running after that Kiwi. They're all fakes. They're all fakes and frauds. I agree with you. I agree with you. Even the ones, some of these people might be victims, but I can't help it. If you're robbing the bank with the cult wants you to rob the bank, and you go rob the bank, and you go, well, I didn't know robbing the bank was wrong. Well, you know what? You should have figured that out, because ignorance is no excuse of the law. The law doesn't care that you don't know. If the law cared that you didn't know, then everybody would be doing everything and saying, I didn't know. I didn't know robbing a bank was wrong. I didn't know I could steal the lady's purse. I didn't know I could rape that kid. I didn't know I couldn't steal that car. Ignorance is no excuse. These people sitting there going, well, I didn't know that kids were being molested. I didn't know that there was all this bullshit in these books. I didn't know all these lies were being destroyed. Well, why didn't you know? Why don't you know? We're going to get into that too in a minute. Why don't you know? They have no receipts to back up their nonsense, disgusting, manipulative teachings to keep you in the cult. They can never answer these questions. Like Knitting Cult Lady said, there's only so many ways that you can create an organization based on lies and get a lot of people to join it, get their free labor and manipulate them and get them to stay in for 60, 70, 80 years. Brigupati, Trivik Ram, 60, 70 years they've been in this shit. Prabhupada managed to manipulate them and convince them and brainwash them into it might as well be a billion-year contract like Scientology. You're the whole friggin' life. Never able to question anything. Never able to see the truth. Good point. Also, remnants of food offered to the guru. Better that food offered to the deity. Cosplaying. It's cosplaying with food. It's cosplaying with food, But if that's your culture and everything, then, I'm not trying to knock it. But because if it's your culture, then you're not cosplaying. You guys are cosplaying. They just try and make everyone dependent on the saffron. So much manipulation and control. Yeah, you're basically supporting these guys' way of life. You're supporting the fact that they don't work, like the sannyasi. I'm in renounced order of life. I renounce everything. Because we're providing everything for you. We're providing your place where you sleep. We're providing your clothes. We're providing your transportation. We're providing your food. We're providing your medical care. We're providing your glasses if you need glasses. Whatever it is you need. Your disciples are paying for that. And screw all the money that you got in the bank. You're not coming out of pocket for anything. You're collecting donations. These guys want to go to India and have Guru Palooza and the Rishikesh and have a big festival. They ain't paying for it. Hridayananda wants to open up have a Krishna West retreat in Ojai or in San Luis Obispo, wherever he wants to go have his Krishna retreat and have everybody come and he can sit there and play guru in front of all these people. He's not paying for that. You think he's going to pay for that? He's going to get on the internet and go, hey, can you all send some money to help me with my Guru Palooza in San Luis Obispo? I want to take 50 of my followers. We're going to go up to San Luis Obispo play a couple rounds of golf, raise some money, and then print some books. What a fucking scam. A fucking scam. They want to do all this stuff. This guy wants to print books in Turkey. He says he's going to go swim in the Thames in his $40 wetsuit. That ain't the biggest freaking scam. I don't know what it is, man. Retards are us. Yep. All they say is that person doesn't want anything to do with us anymore because they made offenses to other Vaishnavas. We are supposed to be okay with criminality against us. It's amazing that they'll say that. They'll be quick to say, "Oh, Sri Mukunda, he's a demon. He's making offenses and he's doing this." But meanwhile, Lokanath Swami's touching little girls. Indra Yumna Swami's touching little girls. Rameshwar ran off with a little underage girl, and they let him come back. I guess if so many years go by, it's okay. Trivik Ram has sex with his disciple. Prabhupada Vishnu's got hookers in Bangkok. Bhaktividya Purna Swami is molesting kids, abusing kids. Tattva Darshan gets arrested in Cambodia. Now he's preaching in Trivik Temple in Bangalore. All that shit's okay. That shit's not a problem. Not a problem. Like nothing ever happened. And these guys sit there gonna worship this guy. Worship this Prabhupada that created all this shit. Man, they are such offenders, it blows my mind. It blows my friggin' mind. Criticizing a guru is seen as the greatest offense. Yeah, it's a greater offense than molesting a little kid. Can you imagine a demigod from a heavenly planet comes down, takes birth in Srila Prabhupada's movement as a little kid, goes to Gurukula, this demigod in a human form, and then he's raped and molested in the Gurukula, and that's not as big an offense as me telling Radhakunda to, fuck off or something, or telling. Or saying that Prabhupada had sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22. That's a bigger offense. That's a bigger offense than raping a demigod that came down from the heavenly planets and ended up in Gokula, and then some Hare Krishna is raping one of the demigods in the Gokula. That's not nearly as bad as me going to the police when my daughter's molested. That's this friggin' pedophile cult. Everything's worse than pedophilia. Pedophilia is Vedic. 13 years old, 11 years old, it's no problem. Many hours of Padyam, washing feet celebration, then Mahaprasad from Guru's plate. Freaking madness. It is. It is. I watched Tamal Krishna's disciples go nuts over his leftovers off of his plate when we had dinner. We had dinner. When I had dinner with Tamal Krishna and Nishringananda and Abhiram, when we were done, Abhiram took Tamal's plate out, and they just were like, Rah! I was like, ugh. I was like, ugh, like this is like the, I don't know, like, to me that's nasty. I'm just sorry. I mean, I understand if it's like your girlfriend, your wife, your kid, you feed your kid, what, but Tamal, I'm gonna eat off of Tamal's plate. I ain't that hungry. This ain't Mad Max. I don't need to eat off of Tamal's plate. It's fucking disgusting. The type of nonsense these monkey freaks who created this cult to manipulate others is beyond other cult. That's why deprogramming is so important to cure this PTSD. It is. The mental manipulation is so strong. It's, people talk about Scientology. This is the thing that I try to stress, that I don't think a lot of people don't understand. Just a lot of people don't understand. Scientology is very vicious as far as trying to keep you in. Uh, phone calls, harassment, all the things that they do, that they're known for, to harass and manipulate and coerce, even physical violence and all that. And Hare Krishna is basically the same. It's just not. It's more of it is up here than physical, but they will get physical. I think just about everybody in my chat has said that they've had threats when they're trying to leave, which I was surprised because I thought it was only me. I didn't think the average person that tried to leave Hare Krishna was going to get threats. But evidently, if you leave and you want to tell your story, they're not happy with that. And that's why, and that's why I feel it's so important to try to emphasize how dangerous the Hare Krishna religion, or the this Hare Krishna cult and their superstitious beliefs, because it's not a religion, it's just a bunch of superstitious beliefs. How dangerous it is, how it harms so many people. And okay, you don't have people say, well, the Hare Krishna, they call me 25 times a day, they won't leave me alone, they stalk me, they stalk my house. No, look, I had Srimaya kind of stalk me when he found out I left, and he was in LA because he doesn't live in LA. When he came to LA, he came and was chanting up and down my street and around my house like a one-man protest. Like he was protesting that I had left the Hare Krishnas. I guess maybe he was trying to lure me out so that he could. I don't know. But I heard this ching ching ching, and and I heard him chanting, and I was like, what the fuck is this nut doing? And then he went up and down my street a couple times, and he went down the alley, and I could hear, and then he disappeared, and I was just like, this guy is weird. These people are weird. And he was a friend. He was a friend, of course. I know that it's dangerous, and I know that the manipulation and the brainwashing and the Stockholm syndrome is very strong. It's so strong that I don't think they really even need to do the Scientology thing where they're stalking people and kidnapping them and putting them in a house in San Bernardino somewhere. I don't know that Hare Krishnas need to do that, although they could. They could easily, you go to the temple, they could easily throw you in a van and drive you up to Badger, and nobody would ever hear from you again. But I haven't heard of anything like that in a while. I mean, the guy got his head blown off in the van, but I haven't heard of, I don't know if we will hear that type of stuff. I mean, maybe one day you'll hear something, and I'll disappear. I don't know. But who knows, A lady left ISKCON from abuse she and her son experienced just to join Narayan Maharaj cult. 20 years later, she had her daughters join, and then they got discriminated and abused again. She's finally done. Yeah, some people need got to go 2 rounds before they got to go 2 rounds before they. I mean, some of these ISKCON people, they got 2 or 3 gurus. The guru falls down. You get another one, and he falls down. I mean, and then you stay in it. You're like, well, give me another one. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another? I mean, your guru falls down. And then you just keep going through them like spinning the wheel of idiot. Oh no! Don't criticize the pedophile. Oh yeah. Oh, we don't know which one it is. I criticize them all because I know one of them. I know they're in there somewhere. Deprogramming is very important to never fall again for this crap. Not only that, but you really got to come to grips with what you went through so that you can recognize other cults and other cultic behaviors. I went to work for a company that was a cult, and it was getting up early in the morning, getting up early in the morning, going to the office to do these atmosphere sales meeting crap, and then going out and pitching products all day, just like you're selling books, and then coming back and having a meetup afterwards, and then if you're not, then you go out and pitch some more, sell some more crap until 9 o'clock at night, and then go home and be friggin' tired, and then they want you to get up and start all over again. And if you're really good at it, like selling books, and you can move these multi-level marketing crap things. There's a lot of companies that do that. They sell knives, they sell vacuum cleaners, they sell flowers, they sell who knows what. And you like Avon and Amway, and these are cults, but they're like a business cult. So, but you can recognize that. If you've been through Hare Krishna, you can recognize that MAGA is a cult, and you can recognize that Amway and Avon is a cult, and you can recognize that some of these companies where they're walking around selling crap is a cult. You can recognize a lot of these things. But if you get in and get out, and you just think, well, I got out because I couldn't chant 16 rounds every day, but you still think there's a demon head eating the moon. And maybe, I stopped going to the temple because I want to smoke cigarettes and I'm not chanting, and and I got a karmi girlfriend. Then you're still in. You're still a cult member. Sorry to say. I'm sorry to say, you're still a cult member. Guru Palooza. That's what he said. He goes, I want to go have my kirtan fest in Rishikesh. I'm like, what are you, Guru Palooza? He just wants to go up there and play guru. You can play guru anywhere, dude. You can have your kirtan fest wherever you are. You don't have to go to Rishikesh. You just want to go to Rishikesh. You just want to go to Rishikesh and have somebody else pay for it. What you want to do? Humility turbo cult. Goddamn Prabhu fraud. Absolutely. Look at these guys. They got a camera filming a statue. They got a camera filming a statue. So that right there is that belongs on the wheel of the idiot, because you're gonna just put a camera on a statue. The statue doesn't do anything. It doesn't talk. It doesn't sing. It doesn't move. It does nothing. It just sits there. But we're going to put a camera on that statue and just make sure, just in case it does sit up like Abraham Lincoln at Disneyland, in case it gets up and does decide it's going to give a speech, animatronic Prabhupada, we'll have it on camera, okay? Let's make sure we get it. Be humble. Don't be offensive. Be tolerant. Give us all your time, money, and energy. Definitely give us your time and your energy and your labor. We want you to do something. You got to do service. You have to do something. You have to wash the pots. You have to chop the vegetables. You have to sweep the driveway. You have to arrange the flowers. You have to mop the floor. You have to mow the lawn. You have to unclog the toilets. Or you can put a case of books in a shopping cart, and you can go down to the DMV and you can sell books. You can beg. You can beg for money, and then if they give you money, they give you a book. You give them a book. If you've left, it's not because we are horrible. It's because you're offensive. Exactly, and that's what they tell you when you join. They go, when you join, you're like, wow, this is great. Oh wow, everyone's happy, and everything, and you don't think anyone's ever leaving. And then you find out, like, most people have left. Most people that have ever joined Hare Krishna have left. As most people that have joined have left. They got mostly new people, and they don't have as many new people as they used to have old people. So where are all those old people? Where'd they all go? How come they're not in it? No. great points. You guys bring up great points, man. I manipulation and control tactics to its highest. Yeah, they've got people so brainwashed on this spiritual journey and the lies that it's ancient tradition, it's ancient scripture, 5,000 years old, blah, 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 all this stuff. They've got those lies so ingrained that you think that, Krishna appeared on this battlefield and he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and, he appeared in this jail cell, and he was taken across the river in a bowl on the head of Nanda Maharaj or whoever it was. They got you so brainwashed into believing that all that stuff is true, that it kind of ensnares you into believing that all this other stuff is true. That the guru is pure devotee, and there's a sampradaya, there's a scampradaya, and there's these gurus in line that are coming down, and all of this stuff. And Lord Chaitanya appeared, and he was Krishna, and he whooped into a statue, and he left the planet, and it's like a self-perpetuating ball of bullshit that just steamrolls you. All because, hey, it's ancient tradition. It's 5,000 years old. It's Vedic culture. It's these scriptures. It's the oldest. It's Sanskrit. It's all this stuff. It's all manipulation. That's all bullshit. That's why when you get to the foundation that this house of cards is built on, which is it's not 5,000 years old. There's no Vyasadeva wrote this stuff. There's no archaeological evidence. There's no anything to support. It's all fantasy. I mean, come on. Atomic weapons you can shoot with your brain. Flying airplane, flower airplane machines. I mean, when you pull, I'm gonna use two metaphors. When you pull the rug out from under that house of cards, everything is done. That was a good one, huh? So, and that's exactly what it is. You're pulling the rug out from under a house of cards. A lot of people who were never serious cult members, who barely participated, leave and end up defending ISKCON, claiming, I was a Hare Krishna and I turned out fine. Yes, absolutely. And I have to go back to Knitting Cult Lady. Who says, just because some random person says, hey, I was never abused, that doesn't negate all the abuse that everybody suffered. And it's actually kind of insulting that one person would say, hey, I wasn't abused. When the history of this cult is nothing but abuse. $400 million lawsuit, gurus falling down. You've got evidence everywhere. You got the bullshit in the books. You've got so much overwhelming evidence that this shit would never hold up in court. I mean, it would hold up in court as a pedophile cult. They would never get away with all this bullshit. It's overwhelming. All this bullshit. And then you're going to sit there and go, well, nothing ever happened to me. Yeah, well, nothing ever happened to me, but my daughter. The longer you're in, the more damage is done. Absolutely, man. I am so glad I got out after 20 years. No one who was in for 20 years defends ISKCON, nor guru coolies, who are often damaged the most. There's a lot of guru coolies that defend this cult, and that's a special case because they don't know any difference. But they can get out, though. They can still get out. There's a lot of people that have grown up in cults, like Knitting Cult Lady, for example. Jenna Miscavige grew up in the Science. A lot of kids that grew up in Scientology have left. A lot of kids that grew up in the Hare Krishnas have left. A lot have stayed. But that's difficult when you're born into it. It's in your family, and you don't know any different. I mean, you've been doing it before you even know what you're doing. You've been in the temple longer than you even know that you've been going to the temple. So yeah, that's a horrible abuse. That's abuse. That's just abuse. You can't sugarcoat that. You raise your kid in a cult, that's abuse. You're an abusive parent. I was abusive. I put my daughter in a school. She ended up getting molested, and I should have known. I should have known better. But all these gurus want to blame Hare Krishna crimes and their criminal philosophy on ISKCON, but it's all of them preaching and committing the same crimes. Ryan Maharaj was the devil himself. So the real culprit, if you listen to their lectures, the real culprit in all of this, right? It's not the offenses. It's not the, well, all of this. The reason that they commit offenses and they don't follow, they break their vows and they break their rule, even though they're chanting like Trivik and Kirtanananda and Bhaktividya Purna. The reason all of these guys have problems, Lokanath and everything, and the reason why we got to let them off the hook is because the question is this, and this is my question, right? This is it's the same question that we've been asking.
I want to ask my questions now, and I want to have my answers now. You hear?
If the holy name is so powerful, and following, and all of this is devotional service is real, how can someone like Trivik Swami fall down? How can these gurus fall down? How can they have problems? How can they break their vows? Well, the answer is, it's Kali Yuga. It's Kali Yuga. It's what happens in Kali Yuga. That's why gurus fall down. It's Kali Yuga. It's the most degraded age of all. It's Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the reason. Kali Yuga is the reason for everything. So then why should I chant? If it's Kali Yuga, then I have absolutely no chance of ever doing anything. Because Kali Yuga is Kali Yuga. I can't change it. I can't change Kali Yuga. I can't turn Kali Yuga into Satya Yuga. Or even Treta Yuga. Or Dwarpa Yuga. I can't. And if Kali Yuga is so strong that Trivik falls down and Kirtanananda falls down, and Prabhupada has sex with an 11-year-old girl when he's 22, and it's all because of Kali Yuga, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Prabhupada brought the poison and all these criminals are using it. Prabhupada taught them exactly how to be the worst person in the world. Prabhupada taught them how to be the worst person in the world. The entire thing is rigged, especially coming from Prabhupada's teachings. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Prabhupada created this whole thing, put it all in the books, left it ambiguous as to who was going to take over when he left. We don't know if he was poisoned, if he wasn't. Gurus falling down, little girls, devotees getting shot, all of this stuff. Prabhupada orchestrated all of this. All the children that were abused. So today I went to the ISKCON page. I went to the ISKCON page, and that's how I found it was Prabhupada's appearance day. So the reason I went here is because I was like, I wonder what's going on in ISKCON, because I never check. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. Like I don't care really. But now that I'm doing this, I thought now that I'm doing this and more people are watching and I'm covering more and more issues and things, I thought, let me just take a look. Let me take a look at this, see what's going on this page. So first thing that jumps out at me is this. Danish Ambassador shares warm wishes on Janmashtami following a visit to ISKCON Delhi. Now, why is the Danish Ambassador to India visiting an ISKCON temple? It says Ambassador Kirstensen shares a ghee lamp during his August 5th visit to ISKCON Delhi. Earlier this month, Ramis Abildegard Kirstensen, ambassador of Denmark to India, paid a special visit to the ISKCON Delhi temple, his first visit to a Krishna temple since assuming his new role. Sharing his thoughts on X, he remarked that he was, quote, impressed by the efforts to promote the learnings of Krishna, as well as your community services, including the distribution of food. Okay, let me see, what is it? He was impressed, quote, impressed by the efforts to promote the learnings of Krishna, as well as your community services, including the distribution of food. So what learnings of Krishna is the Danish ambassador of Denmark to India so impressed by? What is it that Krishna teaches in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam? Well, Krishna doesn't teach anything in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What is it that Krishna teaches that impressed the Danish ambassador to India? Is it that Krishna dances with these gopis down by the river? Well, he doesn't talk about that in the Bhagavatam. So what does he talk about in the Bhagavatam? Oh, he says women are less intelligent in the Bhagavatam. Radhanath was given sannyas by Kirtananda. I believe he was. I absolutely believe he was. I don't know that he ever rejected that and took sannyas from someone else. I don't know. I believe he was given sannyas by Kirtananda and Devamrita as well, and some others. There's a bunch of them. And I don't know that any of them, some of them may have renounced him, but I don't know that they did. So this Danish ambassador he's impressed with the teachings of Krishna, that women like to be raped, little girls, 11-year-old girls, 13-year-old girls can be married off to grown men. Prabhupada explains that in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. I think I'm not sure if it's in the introduction or not, but he talks about how the problems of society is because women are having unwanted children, and because there's abortion and women's liberation, and this is the pinprick in this in society. This is the problem with society. Says we have all this stuff, we got all this technology, we got all these things, but there's still something wrong. Prabhupada says, still something wrong with society. We need to analyze it, figure out what it is. Prabhupada says it's women having unwanted children, men having sex with women and then going away, and the women are left to either beg assistance from the government or kill their child, or raise their child without a father, and then the child becomes delinquent. And Prabhupada says this is what the problem is. He says this in the Bhagavad Gita. Is this the teachings that he's saying that he was impressed by? Krishna says that Prabhupada says that Krishna says that women need to be subservient to their husbands and to men, and women should never be given independence. And there's 3 things you can beat: a dog, a woman, and a drum. And to never trust a woman or a politician. These are the teachings of Prabhupada that he gives in the Bhagavad Gita. This is what impresses the ambassador of Denmark. And then he's going to go to the temple there and cosplay and light a little lamp at their pedophile headquarters in Delhi, where lawsuits have been filed and devotees have been children have been abused in the Delhi temple. And he's going to go there. He doesn't know about this. He doesn't know about the lawsuit and the murders and the pedophilia and the Ramananda Roy touching little girls and all of the gurus that have been caught with little girls and little boys, and Lokanath Swami and his lawsuits, and Prabha Vishnu and Prabha this guy and Prabha that guy. Excuse me. He doesn't know about any of this. If he doesn't know, why doesn't he know? Why is he going to this temple? He doesn't even know who these people are. You don't know who these people are? I mean, it's not like he can't use Google. Like, it's not like he can't just, go and Google ISKCON. Who are these people? He's supposed to be the ambassador of Denmark to India. So he's supposed to know stuff. I'm not the ambassador to Denmark. I'm not the ambassador to India, but at least I know about ISKCON. How come he doesn't know? You don't have ISKCON in Denmark? They don't know that ISKCON is a cult in Denmark? Is he just kissing up to somebody? Who's he kissing up to? Why the fuck is he going to why is he legitimizing this temple? You know how many Danish ambassador needs to get some tweets? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know about the pedophilia in these books. He doesn't know that the statue of that man over there in the corner, he had sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22, and he put in his books that 13-year-old girls must be married to old men, grown men. And all these children that have been abused, all these girls that have been married at 13, raped and married at 13. You can't find this stuff out. I mean, shit. You type in ISKCON on Google and fucking shit goes fucking off the chain. Who told him to go to the ISKCON temple? He got a devotee in his. Has he got like an undercover devotee in his whatever you call it, his little cabinet or whatever he has, his little ambassador in his embassy, whatever they call it, in his consulate? He got a Hare Krishna working in there? Got a Hare Krishna working for him? And they're like, hey, you're the ambassador to India now. You need to go to the ISKCON. Why ISKCON? Why is he going to ISKCON temple? With the history that ISKCON has, he should be as far away from there. You know how many people in Denmark are going to see this and go, hey, well, ISKCON must be cool. The ambassador of Denmark went there. But it's got to be safe. It's got to be fine. Would the ambassador of Denmark go to fucking Waco, to David Koresh's place? Would he go to Charlie Manson's friggin' hideout? Would he go to friggin' Scientology? Well, these two people, he's in Scientology. In LA, All kinds of people go to Scientology. The mayor, district city attorney, chief of police. They think they don't have a problem with Scientology. And the city obviously doesn't have a problem with Hare Krishna. They let them have their party down in Venice Beach every year. Attract 100,000 people, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people, Venice Beach, so they can spread their crap. And here you got the ambassador of Denmark going to the, and this is what ISKCON wants. ISKCON wants the ambassador of India, ambassador of Denmark to go there, so they can say, hey, we had the ambassador of Denmark. We don't do anything wrong. We're not a pedophile cult. Fuck Mike. He didn't know what he's talking about. We had the ambassador of Denmark came in here. Mike doesn't know what he's talking about. Why would the ambassador of Denmark come in here if we were a pedophile cult? He certainly wouldn't do that. Well, he doesn't know. That's why I'm doing my videos, because people need to know. So that guys like this don't go and inadvertently advertise the fucking pedophile cult. And find out the truth on the disgusting place he just visited. They just filed a big lawsuit in Delhi. Hey, how does he not know that? And he's in Delhi. He's in Delhi. He watches the news. He knows there's a big lawsuit filed against ISKCON. Yeah, tell me he's not that dumb. You can't be that dumb and be an ambassador. Well, I guess maybe you can. I don't know. I got more faith in the Danish than maybe I should. I don't know. They use the weird stories in the Bhagavatam to attract people who want to live like that, and then these are the people. And these are the people that take saffron. The people taking saffron they got mental problems, because they're like women hater. They're women haters. They're out of control mentally because they feel like they gotta put on this orange thing and be in this renounce. I'm gonna renounce it. They're screwed up in the head. They're screwed up in the head just for wanting to do that shit, and then the fact that they do it screws them up even more. These guys are not in control of their senses. They're not wearing orange. They're not doing anything special. They're just hating on women. They just hate women and don't want to be around them. And then you get these gay gurus, and I've got nothing against gays. I got nothing against gays or gay gurus. But you get these gay gurus in ISKCON. Like this Krishna Swami, whatever his name is. I think that was his name. This dude was gay, okay? I mean, come on. This guy was gay. Like Jagjivan. These guys were gay. You get this gay Swami, all dressed in orange in the renounced order of life. He's like, I can't be around women, but you're gay and you're around guys. Explain that one to me. You're a gay Swami. You're wearing orange because you don't want to be around women. But that's not a big deal because you're gay. But you surround yourself with young boys and young men. Tell me that's not friggin' weird. Tell me that's not friggin' weird. And you know, because you're gay. You're gay. And you know you're cosplaying you're cosplaying as a woman-hating heterosexual. He's a gay guru, and he's cosplaying as a woman-hating heterosexual, but he's really just a gay man. And he's not in control of anything because he wants to be around men. He likes being around men and boys. He doesn't want to be around women. So he's going to sit there in his orange outfit cosplaying as I'm in the renounced order of life. I can't be around women, but I'm a gay man, and I don't want to be around women anyway. I want to be around men and young men. Explain to me how that makes sense. It's bullshit. That's straight up bullshit. It doesn't get any more bullshit than that. These people are trying to rebrand ISKCON, but they could never. You know, you can't rebrand something when everything's written in stone. Prabhupada's books are the 10,000-year books. They're never to be changed. They're all that. How can you reform anything? How can you change anything when your whole thing is based on a lie? Hey, N, how are you? You came to get deprogrammed. It's good to see you. Bhakti Durya Madhava. Oh yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, you know who you know. You know whatever happened to him? Because he was in LA. He was in LA for like years and years and years and years and years. He was living with two little boys. Not little boys, two young boys. Bhakti Vidurya Madhava, Rohini Kumar Swami. Yeah, that's him. Yep. Oh, this is so funny. Time to expose this dark hole. Yeah, I mean, I know, and it's like we're not even exposing it because it's all out there. It's just bringing attention. It's bringing attention to it because it's already out there. It's not like we're digging up dirt. The dirt's already there, out there for everybody to see. You go on YouTube and you type in ISKCON abuse or ISKCON scandals, ISKCON gurus, ISKCON whatever, and all of this stuff comes up. And then you got the database where it's all right there. You can look up anything you want. You can listen to Prabhupada, be a shithead, asshole, racist, sexist. It's all right there. From Gandhi, ex-wife from Brazil, also fall down by proposing to his male disciple sex. You know, there's I was looking at this thing earlier. I was looking at this thing earlier on this page, and I was reading a story about something going on in somewhere. I don't even know. There's so much stuff going on. I think it's this one. This one guy. This one devotee. He's talking about just. I can't repeat it because it's just too graphic. When he says he's talking about oral sex with devotees, two male devotees performing oral sex in the temple anyway, it's right here. It's under this heading. It says Gopal Krishna Swami complaint further explained. And it says abominable activities by the secretary of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And then, you know, if you read this, it's just pretty, it's pretty graphic, but it's pretty. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what is going on? You know, what is going on? It's just a nasty, disgusting friggin' cult. And you've got the ambassador of Denmark just going in there like it's, you know, like it's you know, UNICEF or something. Oh, I really like what you're doing with. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's like, I'm glad. Oh, I'm really impressed with how you're spreading Krishna's teachings. What teachings are you impressed with? Which teachings are you impressed with? That you can smack your woman around if she gets out of line. Are you impressed with that one? Are you impressed with that women have small brains? Is that the one that you're impressed with? Are you impressed with that black people belong in the jungles and never should have been given freedom? Or are you impressed with Hitler was a great man? You know, Hitler invaded Denmark. Do you guys really think Hitler was a great man? Hitler rounded up Jews in Denmark and sent them to the concentration camps. Do you really think Hitler was a great man? A good man? You think you'd think the ambassador to India, the Danish ambassador to India, might want to know about that. You know, he just might want to know what Prabhupada's thoughts on Hitler were since Hitler invaded Denmark. You know, some of those countries they wouldn't even they should never have let Prabhupada in their country because you can't promote Hitler in countries where that Hitler fucked them up. They don't like that shit. They don't want to hear. You can't go into like Germany and be a Nazi and start talking about how great Hitler was. You can't do that in Germany. They don't like that shit. But you can spread Prabhupada's books. The guy that said that Hitler was a good man didn't kill all those Jews. I don't believe he killed all those Jews. That's what he said. I don't believe he killed millions of Jews. See, I would think that maybe the ambassador to Denmark, the ambassador to India, the Danish ambassador, he might want to know about that. Wait a minute, what is this? Bhakti Vaidurya Madhava was in the 90s in Vrindavan during Vedic Institute of Higher Education or something, courses around Kartik in the 90s. Yeah, he was around in the 90s. He was around. I guess he wasn't around when I don't remember. He was around for a while. And then disappeared. Later, I've heard he got excommunicated. Okay, so the last time I talked to him, because I used to talk to him. Well, no, I'm thinking of someone else. There was another gay guru that I used to talk to in front of the temple. The gay gurus actually were probably the least egotistical and pretentious gurus. They were Rohini Kumar and Krishna Balaram Swami, the American Krishna Balaram Swami. They were like normal guys. They seemed like normal guys. They sit in front of the temple and I could walk up and go, hey, can I ask you a question about something? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And I could talk to them just like I could talk to my friend Bir Lakshman or Radha Kund. It was like I could just have a conversation with them, and they would just be like a normal person. They sit there in their guru thing, and their stick and everything, but they just acted like a normal person. They weren't like all full of themselves, like Sri Dayananda and all these other guys. They would just and I don't know if it has to do with them being gay. I don't know, but they just seem so. Rohini Kumar Swami, I don't remember last time I talked to him. Krishna Balaram Swami, last time I talked to him, he said that they were kicking him out of ISKCON, that he could either get reinitiated by someone else or he had to leave. And he told me, he said, I'm not getting reinitiated. I don't need to do all that. He goes, what am I doing all that? He kind of an attitude like, what the fuck is this bullshit, And I don't know whatever happened to him either. I don't know what happened to either one. I don't know what happened to either one of them. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. They're so controlling, like, don't think unless we allow you, and it's what we say you can think. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they get you so brainwashed that you voluntarily, this is what I was saying, this is what I've been saying for a long time. The brainwashing in the Krishnas, because it's, this based on these lies of, 5,000-year-old literatures and 5,000-year-old scripture, and ancient tradition, and it's Vedic culture, and it's this and that and all this stuff, because it's all just based on these lies that you self-regulate. You're convinced that it's true, so you voluntarily self-regulate yourself. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You don't need someone. Once you're like fixed, whether they call fixed up. Once you're fixed up, you don't need someone. You don't need a bhakta leader to make sure you're chanting your rounds, make sure you're going to the temple program. You're fixed up. You're doing that on your own. I don't need to be told. I built my own mental prison based on these lies, based on these falsehoods, based on all this bogus information. I created my own mental prison in my mind, and I locked myself in there. So I'm good. I don't need someone following me around. I have enough guilt that if I eat something and accidentally there's some meat in it, and like, oh my God, I had meat. Gopal Krishna, dead Goswami, secretaries back in Juhu, Mumbai, were telling me stories of luring local grahastas' underage daughters for petting in exchange for Mahaprasad plate. See, this is the type of stuff that I just seriously, I'm not making this up. This what you're saying here. This is the type of stuff that I just imagine. This type of stuff goes on. There's all kinds of stuff goes on. All kinds of stuff goes on. But you don't know it because you're never going to find it out until something like this happens, where somebody tells somebody, hey, and then it comes back to you, and you find out. But like I heard back in the 70s that the Sankirtan, I forget which temple, I think it was Laguna Beach Temple or LA Temple, that the Sankirtan kind of morphed into, and this is while Prabhupada was still here, the Sankirtan kind of morphed into just prostitution. It was just going, instead of really going out and concentrating on book sales, that they would go out and they would lure guys in and do like prostitution. And that's what I heard. That's what I heard from a few devotees, and that were there, and they said, "Yeah, that's what we used to do." Prabhupada was anti-Semitic trash. He was anti-Semitic trash, and then you got the Danish ambassador going to the temple there and offering artik to Prabhupada, because they had him do that. They're not going to let the Danish ambassador go in there and do things wrong. So if he's offering a ghee lamp, he definitely offered it to Prabhupada first, and then he offered it to Lord Chaitanya, and then he offered it to Krishna and who's ever in the temple. But he definitely offered it to Prabhupada first. You think they're going to let him go in there and make an offense, do something wrong? This cult, this is a pedophile cult. This pedophile cult tricked the Danish ambassador to India, into going to their pedophile headquarters in Delhi and offering artik to their head pedophile cult leader. And the Danish ambassador didn't even know what he was doing. That's how sinister these people are. And then they got the ambassador making a statement. I'm impressed with their teachings of Krishna and spreading food. So now they got the endorsement of the Danish ambassador. Now they can put that on all their literature, put that on their flyer. They can put a sign, whatever. They can use that to promote their fucking pedophile cult. He's helping them promote their friggin' pedophile cult. It fucking pisses me off. People are going to be like, oh, well, the Danish ambassador went. It can't be that. Can't. Mike's out of his mind. Mike can't be right if the Danish ambassador is going there. That's what they're telling people, right? And don't listen to Mike. What does he know? His Danish ambassador came here. You think the Danish ambassador would come here if what Mike is saying is true? Radhanath Swami is a homosexual as well. Yeah, I got my suspicions about that. I think little Dickie Slavin is a little light and loafers, as they used to say back in my day. Yeah, and Dave Amrita Swami too. I believe Dave Amrita Swami is a little light and loafers. Probably goes both ways, and that's why not Radhanath. That's why some of these gurus, if they're gay, like Rohini Kumar Swami and Krishna Balaram Swami and Jagjivan or whoever, right? They'll never have a sex with a woman scandal. They're never going to get caught with a woman. And as long as they're with another homosexual man that doesn't want to get caught, their secret's good. Their secret's good. No one's going to know. No one's going to tell on themselves. If I tell on Rohini, if I blow the lid on Rohini Kumar Swami, I'm blowing the lid on myself. So just like Rohini Kumar Swami wants to stay in the ISKCON and be gay, his lover wants to stay in ISKCON and be gay. So even if they come together and they have a little affair, a little sex, whatever going on, and then they split up, they go their separate ways, we're never going to know because they're not going to tell on each other because that would be telling on themselves. They can't tell on himself. Hey, that guy's gay and I know because I'm his lover. You're not going to do that. We're never going to know. Radhanath Swami could be having an affair with his secretary, his cook, his book boy, his whatever, his temple president, his Dave Amrita. He could be having sex with him, but we're never going to know until the guy leaves and goes, hey, just like the little girl grows up and goes, hey, Lokanath Swami was molesting me when I was 11 years old. You didn't believe me when I was 11, but I'm 33, and now I'm telling you he friggin' molested me. So, that's how it's gonna be with Radhanath or any of these guys. We're not gonna know until we know. Indrayumna Swami, we already know he got problems. We already know a bunch of these guys got problems because they're having problems with women. Trivik Ram. Indrayumna Swami, Hridayananda. A lot of these guys, same thing. We see it right off the bat. We go, hey, why is this guy surrounding himself with women? Why is this guy having girls in bikinis around him all the time? Why is this guy, traveling with little girls? But if he's gay, and he's having adult sex with an adult man, we're not going to know about that. Brain lock. Ronald gave me the creeps. He would have an air of aloofness and creepy vibes. He's got creepy vibes. He's got like serial killer vibes, if you ask me. I don't know one's asking, but that's my thing. Processed The guilt is still in my brain. Yeah, it can linger, man. This cult can linger and that's one reason why for me when I left, man, I didn't look back. When I realized, hey, this is a bunch of bullshit, but I didn't let myself talk myself out of leaving. I was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I can see it's bullshit. I've known it's bullshit. Now it's like being forced in my face. This is bullshit. And I was just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And but still, you know, it was still traumatic. It's not like just bolting out, and never looking back was easy. It was still hard. It was still hard as fuck. There's an ISKCON dude called Mahaprasad from New Delhi. He's very connected with politics. I suspect he would have been responsible for the visit. Is that the same Mahatma Das? That's not the American Mahatma Das. There's a couple Mahatmas. I knew of Mahatma. He was, and then there's the one does a lot of preaching. He threatens them that if they leave and fall down, he will starve himself to death. A young man outed him on Facebook. I'll send you the link. Yeah, send me the link. Wow, that's wow, man, I didn't know. Radha Swami comes from a mafia family. Yeah, I heard I heard he comes from some. There was something else I wanted to show you real quick, but I can't remember what it was. I guess we can spin the wheel. I wanted. It was oh, here it is. Here it is. Now we're gonna get to it. This guy. Okay, let's take a look at this. I just came across this today, and I thought it was worth. I thought it was worth taking a look at. Let me see what it says here. It says child abuse in ISKCON community, case of molestation and inadequate punishment. The ISKCON Child Protection Office investigated Praad Govindadas of ISKCON Alachua and found him guilty of child sexual abuse. This CPO decision on Praad Govinda details his misuse of power and authority as a manager at ISKCON Mayapur to prey on a young girl over a 2-year period of time, starting when she was 11 years old. He misused his position of power and authority to prey on her, using access to Prabhupada's room and guest rooms. Sadly, whoever served on the panel decided that one year was sufficient for a child sexual abuser to step down from leadership. However, once someone has perpetrated child abuse, they have permanently disqualified themselves as a spiritual leader. Please ask the ISKCON Alachua Temple President, Mukhya Devi Dasi, temple board members, and other devotees in the community to permanently remove Praad Govinda Das from holding any leadership position in Alachua, ISKCON Alachua, your servant, Saraswati. Always the Kiwi, man. So here's this guy. He molested let me just make sure I get this right. This is so fucking disgusting. He molested an 11-year-old girl. It's always 11 years old. My daughter was 11. This girl's 11. The other girl that we were talking about in the other show was 11. And it's not about 11-year-olds, man. Over a young girl over a 2-year period starting when she was 11. And he was doing it in Prabhupada's rooms and guest rooms. And so instead of notifying the authorities, because he committed a serious crime, these are serious crimes. This is a serious sexual crime against a little girl, a minor child, over a 2-year period. For 2 years, this 11-year-old girl had to endure this guy for 2 years. This poor little 11-year-old girl had to endure this guy abusing her for 2 years. She must have been terrified the whole time. She must have just been terrified. That little girl needs therapy. She needs help. She needs something if she hasn't gotten it. But this guy harms this girl, abuses this girl, 11 years old, for 2 years. For 2 years. And his punishment is he can't cosplay as a leader for 1 year. That's his punishment. No cosplaying for you for 1 year. You can't sit on a little chair. Can't lead kirtan. Oh my goodness. What a punishment. That's real justice. Let me tell you right now, that's justice for that little girl. That little girl got some justice right there. They took away his chingy chings. You molest that little girl for 2 years, we're going to take away your little chingy chings and you can't chingy ching no more. How dare you? This fucking guy, man. Guy belongs in jail, man. Guy belongs in jail. And the community needs to be warned that he's a menace to the community. Instead, they just took his chingies away. We're going to take your chingies away, and that's it. We're going to just take your chingies away, and that's it. One female 36-year-old female teacher recently in USA was convicted of having sex with 11-year-old pupil. Teacher facing 40 years in prison. 40 years in prison. This guy gets 1 year of no chingy chings. You can't chingy for 1 year. Remember, I sent his young disciples to pedo Premananda Prabhu, who falls in love with them. These young men are groomed into thinking that if they leave him, he will starve himself to death. That's why I say that, that's why these Krishna cults, whether it's Narayan Maharaj, ISKCON, some of these Vrinda people, self-realization people, it's all the same. It's all the same manipulation. It's all the same brainwashing. It's the same books. It's the same pedophilia. It's the same disgusting pieces of shit people. That's what these books, that's what this cult does. It turns you into a fucking piece of shit person. It doesn't care about pedophilia. It doesn't care. They don't care. So happy reading their stories about the cart demon and how Radharani, talks to the parrot because she's delirious in love of Krishna, and she talks to the flowers, and she talks to, where's Krishna? Where? They're so fascinated with that crap. And they can't recognize when a friggin' pedophile, a disgusting pedophile, needs to go to jail for 40 years. They can't see that. They can't comprehend it. Guy deserves to be locked up. How many other kids has he molested? An 11-year-old girl for 2 years. For 2 years, this creep. 2 years, this creep was terrorizing this little girl. Oh, no chingy chings for you. Nope, you can't. You can't allow it. That's their idea of justice. That's their idea of justice. Why? Because they don't care. They're just doing that because people want them to do something. But if they could get away with not doing anything at all, they wouldn't do anything at all. They don't give a fuck. The only reason they took his chingies away for 1 year is because everybody made a big stink about it. But if nobody made a big stink about it, they wouldn't give a fuck. Like friggin' Padma Garba walking around Watsika Avenue like he never did nothing. People disgust me, man. I tell you, they fucking disgust me. They should disgust you too. And all you people in there, you should be just freaking scratching your head going, what the fuck did I get myself into? I didn't know there were all these fucking disgusting people in this cult. I didn't know this cult was all into pedophilia and little girls and gurus with little girls and guys with little boys and little boys with little girls. I was freaking sick. I was sending a story on Facebook of a young boy who puts out Pedo Permananda Prabhu, but the young man cannot seem to understand that it's the religion that's rigged and his guru is at fault. Yeah, send it to me. Sure, I'll take a look at it. Absolutely. So anyway, this almost an hour and 45 minutes went by so fast because I was all fired up on all this crap. This shit's got me fired up. This shit got me fired up with the ambassador of Denmark going to a pedophile temple. The fuck is that? That got me pissed off. I saw that. I was like, oh man, I can't believe this shit. And then while I'm looking that up and I'm getting that ready, I come across this guy who molested an 11-year-old girl for 2 years. And all they can do is take away his little chingy chings for 1 year. That's fucking... It's where's
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like Walter Kolchak. He's like, what the fuck? Am I the only one? Over the line. Over the line. That's how I feel. So, everybody, I want to thank everybody for joining in, man. This is a great community. I'm learning so much from you guys. I'm learning stuff I didn't know because I've been away for so long. It's amazing to hear about all this stuff about these gurus that you guys know and stories that I'm just like, I thought I had stories. Okay, I heard many young men who fell in love with other devotees, ladies, and wanted to leave the ashram, but this sicko guru would starve himself for days and threaten he will kill him. He will kill himself. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I know. This blows my mind. Blows my mind. Friggin' blows my mind. So all you out there, all you that are watching, I'm glad you're joining in. I'm glad you're watching. I know we're getting through. We're getting through to you collectively as a group. We're getting through to the Hare Krishnas, And like I said, the more we join in and we do this, I think more Hare Krishnas will come around and start to join in and say, yeah, I heard so and so did this, and my guru did that, and I think we can make some inroads into saving some people. I really do. I really like how this is coming along, and it's great. And I want to thank you all for supporting my channel. And everybody, Trey and Fake Human and Rafael and just everybody out there, thank you so much. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Have a great day, a great morning. And we didn't spin the wheel, but we've already gone like almost 2 hours. So we'll definitely spin the wheel next time because we got to spin that wheel. So I want to thank you all. Have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, a great lunch, great snack time, whatever. Ding, class is over. Thanks everybody. And I got another. Let's see. Closing. Where's my closing credits? Here we go. Enjoy everybody. Thanks again.